This is an atom. More specifically, this is a helium atom. I'm using a helium atom because it's the simplest one that also has all the major building blocks. We'll go into that in just a minute. First off, the classic structure of an atom is pretty simple. You have your protons in red and neutrons in green, and they form the nucleus. Orbiting the nucleus are the electrons. Those are the guys in blue. Now, protons are positively charged particles. Neutrons are neutrally charged particles, meaning they have no charge. And your electrons are negatively charged particles. You can think of atoms like the original balancing act. For instance, the helium atom has two of everything. The two protons are paired with the two neutrons so that the neutrons can cancel out any repelling force that the protons would have on each other, because as we know from magnets, opposites attract and the same repels. Now, electrons, however, they're the outcasts of the atom. They aren't anywhere near the nucleus. In fact, they get their own space to occupy called the electron cloud. Now, when I say that the electron cloud isn't anywhere near the nucleus, I mean it. In fact, if you were to blow up an atom to the size of a football field with the electron cloud at the goalposts and this nucleus at this 50-yard line, the nucleus would be a little smaller than a marble, which means that everything in between the marble and the goalposts is empty space. Pretty wild, huh? So now that means that everything that we know, my chair, your table, me, you, everything is mostly empty space. But wait, how do we have solid surfaces then? Well, that is thanks to the electrons. As we covered earlier, things with the same charge repel each other, and since all atoms have their electrons on the outside, all atoms repel other atoms. So, the atoms that make up my body are repelling the atoms that make up my chair, which prevents me from slipping right through when I sit down. Actually, what's really cool is that the electrons never touch, so technically there's a very, very, very small amount of space between me and my chair. So if you really think about it, I'm levitating. And so are you. Now, before I go, I'd just like to touch on one thing from earlier. I said that the helium atom is the simplest atom that still has all the building blocks. And what I meant by that is that there is an atom that doesn't have any neutrons, and it's the hydrogen atom. The reason there aren't any neutrons in the hydrogen atom is because there isn't any need for any. Since there is only one proton, there's nothing for that proton to repel against, and thus no need for the neutron to neutralize that charge. Therefore, keeping everything in balance. That's all for atoms. Thank you guys very much, and I will see you next time.